in a type of society today where even the slightest of difference in either your personality or appearance causes people to poke fun at you or point out that you aren't the same as everyone else. For Nick Vujicic, who has no arms and legs, this is an everyday occurrence. Despite the amount of negativity and people who try to bring him down, Vujicic is still incredibly successful, from starting his own organization and company, writing books, and even having his own personal strength greater than any other person. This man is an inspiring individual with a vast wealth of knowledge and experience that could turn even the darkest of outlooks in a person to something much brighter. Sometimes there's a feeling you get when you know someone is destined to do great things. Well, when Nick Vujicic was born, he immediately had an impact and gave off that feeling of a greater destiny. Vujicic was born with tetraamelia disease, which means he has no limbs. Through medical research, it was concluded that he simply was born with this condition out of fate, and there really was no distinct reason for it. Although to me his appearance is rather interesting, not everyone thought so as he was growing up. Vujicic's peers often made fun of him for not being able to do the basic everyday activities that a normal toddler, teen, or adult would be able to do depending on what stage of life he was in at the time. This would be devastating to a normal individual, but with guidance from God, he was able to overcome the bullying and find peace with what he was blessed with from birth. Vujicic really is a strong individual inside and overcame what would emotionally destroy most other people. A person with no arms and legs is still a person and has the ability to impact anyone they come in contact with, especially if they become an owner of a company and do motivational speaking all around the world. What a better way to spread encouraging words and preaching the Bible to uplift the spirits of others than making your own organization and traveling the world. Although limbless, Vujicic still finds ways to impact people's lives to show them that things really could be worse and to always have a higher chin on things. Life Without Limbs is the organization he founded, and its purpose is to allow Vujicic to preach the word of the Lord to different churches and establishments around the world. To help spread the word about who he is and to those who are unaware, he started a company called Altitude is Attitude, which basically allows Vujicic to go to places that don't allow the word of God to be preached, and he instead tells about his life experiences and the struggles he's overcome. From the people that he spoke to, they grew a liking to him and started participating and donating to his organization so that he could spread more of the word of God around the world. Between his traveling and company ownership responsibilities, Vujicic still finds time to write his own books that really are just as inspiring as his public speaking events. Through hard work and experimenting, Vujicic was able to find ways to write his own books, which happened to be international bestsellers. After establishing his company, Vujicic wrote a matching book called Life Without Limbs, which tells the stories of his life and how he became the person who he is today, a happy, strong, and motivated individual. This book was written in 2010 and makes your mind wonder how he was able to write a book without any arms. Although limbless, he did not let any task make him feel defeated. Vujicic found supportive friends and family that would lend their ears and hands and write whatever he envisioned to be in his books. Soon after completing his book, he went on to write many others, one of which is called Love Without Limbs. This book is truly inspiring and tells the story of how he went through his struggles of finding love until God blessed him with a beautiful wife one day and explains their journey together as a couple. Vujicic goes on time and time again to prove that you are only limited by the mind, not by physical ability. The numerous accounts of success that Nick Vujicic has is inspiring to say the least, and overall is one of the strongest individuals I have ever had the pleasure to research about. Practically being bullied since birth, being told that you're not able to do something, and hearing that the chance of defying all odds was against him is what Vujicic was surrounded with throughout his entire life and still is to this day. But with devotion to God, many nights of prayer, acquiring knowledge from studies, and learning from others, Vujicic made everything possible. If a person without limbs is able to make this big of an impact on the world, then I think just about anyone can. One can be bound by the limits they set for themselves, but for Vujicic, his life is limitless.